Alright then, hippies, what's happening here? Today I'm going to be kicking a dead horse, so most of you are already going to know how this goes down, so anyone that already does, you might just want to skip over this video. But anyway, this is for someone very specific. I was commenting on someone else's video and I wound up being very rude to someone, and my way of making apologies is to see if I can't help explain something. So anyway, basically they wanted to know how an AR-15 works, how it fires a piece of ammunition like this 5.56 round right here. So this is my best attempt to explain it. I'm sure that I'm going to get a lot of things wrong, and if I do, feel free to correct me. So basically you have your lower receiver, your bolt carrier group, and your upper receiver. Alright, those are going to be the major pieces of what fires. So anyway, for demonstration purposes, I've got the whole thing apart. So first and foremost, this is what an AR-15 looks like when it's in the cock position. When you squeeze this trigger, this hammer comes flying forward, right? When that hammer comes flying forward, imagine this bolt carrier group would sit inside of this receiver and it would move back and forth like so. So in position with the receiver, it would look something like this, right? Now once that hammer is squeezed, or once that trigger is squeezed, this hammer is going to fly forward, and you can see how it's sitting in here. It's going to smack right here. There's that silver piece inside of there. That's actually the firing pin. And when that happens, basically there would be a round inside of the chamber, and it would be stuck onto the bolt face like so. And when it smacks that firing pin, it's going to go forward and it's going to smack the primer on the back of a piece of ammunition. It's going to cause it to detonate, and it's going to send the bullet itself flying forward out of the barrel. When that happens, you can see, not very well, but right here, this is a front sight post, but it's also a gas block. As the bullet goes through here, there's going to be a lot of expanding gases, and as soon as it reaches this point, that bullet's going to continue on out. It's going to follow the dwell time, and it's going to leave the barrel, and it's going to hit what you want it to hit, hopefully. But also, some of those gases are going to escape off of here, and they're going to follow a gas tube that's inside of here, which you can't really see all that well. But it's going to follow that gas tube all the way back out into where it escapes right here. And this piece right here actually mates up with the gas tube. This is called the gas key, and it's going to fill this bolt, or this bolt carrier, full of gases, and that in and of itself is going to push the bolt forward, and it's going to make the bolt slide backwards like so. And the entire time that that's happening, it's going to be resisted by, there is a buffer and buffer spring in there, and that's what's actually going to relocate the bolt. So if you imagine, once that gas hits that gas key, it's going to push it back in here like so, and it's also going to recock the hammer just from, I don't know how well you can see it, but just the sheer sliding action will recock the hammer. And once it reaches the back of that carrier, or the buffer tube, it's going to push it back forward. And as it's doing so, your magazines are going to be in here. It's going to strip off another round and push it into the chamber. And as soon as you squeeze that trigger, the whole entire process starts over again. That whole entire process with the gas tube and everything is called direct impingement. I don't have a gas piston operated rifle here that I can really demonstrate with, but basically, instead of gas following the entire channel back into the receiver, it's going to smack. Gas is going to expand right here, and it's going to push a piston back with a rod, and that's going to be what smacks here as opposed to the gas carrier key, or the gas key. And that's what's going to cycle the weapon. It's a pretty simple concept, the whole idea of one of them being full of water and trying to fire it. Problem with that is if the barrel's full of water, this bullet going down through here is going to go down through here with a lot of force, and it's going to push water through the gas tube, which could cause that to explode and effectively make your rifle a single shot rifle. And it's also could force water into the upper receiver, which could cause that to actually explode. Bad news all around, but that's, like I said, this is a very basic overview of this, but I hope that helps. If I need to redo this video and explain something, holler at me. I'm sure I got some stuff wrong, and if I did, feel free to holler at me as well. Anyway, peace hippies.